video, we are doing a 1v1v1 Home Depot build your own rod, reel, and fishing lures. The first ever on YouTube. Let's go! Oh my God! No! I got one! In today's video, we are doing a 1v1v1 Home Depot build your own rod, reel, and fishing lures, the first ever on YouTube. And to help me, we have Fletcher the Fisherman, who's built some of the most viral YouTube fishing lures on all of YouTube. And we have Mason. Woo! He's probably the most handy man I know. He's worked on cars his whole entire life. You've fixed so much stuff, built houses,
sank boats all the time.
And then there's me, who's just fished my whole entire life but has no clue how to build things. So here's how this challenge is gonna work. One of us is gonna build a reel, one of us is gonna build a rod, and one of us is gonna build 3 lures, a top water, a middle, and a bottom bait. First person to catch 3 fish on their item, whether you get the reel, the rod, or the lures, wins this challenge, but it all has to be homemade. So for example, say you get the reel, you get to use good lures and a good rod. But you have to use your homemade reel. If you get, say, the rod, you get to use a good reel, good lures, but you have to use your homemade rod. And if you get the lures, you get a really nice bait caster.
Oh, but you got the
tough lures. So
let's see what the winning spin is. I want to thank my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my cats, my dogs. I love everybody.
You got the reel.
Oh.
Dude, that might be the toughest one. That's gonna be hard.
Too easy.
Too easy? All right, I like the confidence.
Good pole, good lures. All I gotta do is reel it in.
Dang, dude. Well, Fletcher, you can spin. I'm just getting a personal financing options ad.
Oh.
So if any of you guys need that.
We're gonna let the squirrel let her rip.
Dang, dude, it doesn't even have real hands. So lame.
We're gonna improv here.
Improv.
There we go.
Bob, are you open for lures or do you want a rod?
I'm thinking rod, dude. I feel like
Oh, dude,
rod is one of
it.
these. Oh, let's go.
Rod.
Oh.
All right, so Fletcher has to make a rod. He gets to use a really nice reel and any lures he wants. I now have lures, which means I have to make a top water, a middle bait, and a bottom bait and catch a fish on all 3 of them. Mason gets to make a reel. First to 3 fish wins this thing. Let's go inside Home Depot and make everything we're fishing with. Woo! Let's go. All right, guys, we made it inside of Home Depot. I have to make 3 lures, 1 on the top, 1 on the middle, and 1 on the bottom. The other boys only have to make 1 thing. I have to make 3, and if one of them doesn't work, I pretty much instantly lose, so all of them have to be super good. We're gonna start with the top, and I have a really good idea, I think. So starting with the top water lure, in previous videos, we made a whole walking bait out of a broomstick and caught a giant. Then from the dollar store, we made a kid's toy into a top water lure. So since we've already made a walking bait, a top water caterpillar, and we've also made a top water frog, I want to make something completely different. It's gonna be way more complicated, I think, but I'm gonna try to construct the first ever Home Depot Whopper Plopper. We're gonna use a piece of wood, maybe get a couple screws, and I'm gonna hand carve the tail on the back. So first item we're gonna need for the top water lure is just this big old piece of wood.
So what I've envisioned, you know what? Let me start it out from we're gonna work our way from the housing, the casing, from the casing of like the spool casing, whatever it's called. Basically like this. Imagine this is your spool. The thing that holds that. The bracket. Bracket. You guys get what I'm saying. I'm gonna start with that. I think I'm gonna do wood. I think wood would be my best bet.
It's time to get to work, guys. We are getting into the nitty-gritty of this, and the boys messed up, let me tell you. I got the rod. That means I get to have the good reel, and I get to have good lures. I feel like out of all the things that is easiest to make, it's gotta be a rod. My initial thought is maybe PVC, but I feel like there might be something better in here. Home Depot's got all kinds of good stuff.
Guys, today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. This is a really important sponsorship deal to me. I've never told this story publicly before, but I went to therapy before I started my YouTube channel while I was going through college. Really knew that I wanted to do this, but didn't have anybody to talk to about it. Kind of felt like I was crazy. Anyways, just talking with a therapist, whether it was them helping me or me being able to hear myself talk to another person out loud to figure out what was going on in Norm's brain, really helped me. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. Then you can talk to your therapist whatever makes you feel the most comfortable, whether that's over text, over phone call, or over video call. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling, flexibility, and a more affordable price. And my personal favorite part is you can schedule these appointments whenever it's most convenient for you without even having to leave your own house. To get started, guys, all you have to do is fill out a quick questionnaire to fill out your needs and wants so that BetterHelp can match you with a proper therapist. And sometimes if you're talking to your therapist and you feel like you need to change and it's just not working, you can change your therapist for no additional charge. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/fishingwithnorm. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/fishingwithnorm. And I'll also leave it linked down below in the description for you guys. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the regular content. So for $6 right here, we have a thin plank of wood. So what I'm thinking, this is the main body, and maybe we carve out a tail, but just in case that doesn't work, I could use this, kind of cut out like a little S shape, have it spin in the back to move a ton of water. We're gonna need to connect these two, so we're gonna need some screws and a couple other supplies.
So I think I'm gonna go with like a 2x6 piece of wood. I can shave down. You can't shave up.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, it's not gonna be these exact pieces, but it's gonna be two kind of bracket style pieces on top of a flat plate with a rod. Oh, does that look like it's going through on camera? Look, watch this. And then my spool in the middle, and then on the end of this shaft, I'll have my handle to reel it in. And then with some little U-hooks, U-bolts coming through the platform, should hold it onto the rod.
This could be a good option because I feel like we're gonna need to like make a rod that has like a strong backbone with like kind of like a flimsy tip, especially for any kind of like underwater bottom bait type of thing. We're probably just gonna have a wide gap hook and we're gonna need some like hook setting power. Let's go ahead and grab these. These are looking pretty saucy if you ask me.
So guys, how we're gonna put this all together. These things come in super clutch, like the screw eyes, and I'm gonna do super tiny ones. So we're gonna go with this right here. This is gonna be screwed into the front, like the line tie, and we can screw two of these into the bottom of our whopper plopper, attach some split rings and some big old hooks on the bottom of this thing. These will definitely have our hook secure and our lure secure to the line, but for our whopper plopper, in order to spin freely, we're gonna need a couple big screws, at least in my mind. I think something like this would work. If we screw this into the back and have a proper prop on the back end, with the big part of the screw, that'll keep our prop secure. Might sound a little bit crazy, but trust me, I have a great idea, and we got a 50-50 shot at making the coolest topwater Home Depot lure ever made. And that's lure number 1 complete.
Honestly, don't need that much wood. For real, I thought I was gonna use a 2x6, but that would honestly be plenty. They'll like curved in like this. It would be 2 of these with a hole drilled in for that little rod to go through, and that's what would hold the spool on a platform like so.
We have some like little screw eyes. I mean, those look exactly like eyelets. I mean, we could screw that into like a piece of wood or PVC or basically just about anything. They have these in a bunch of sizes, and when you have a fishing rod, they usually kind of like vary in size, like small at the tip, and they get a little bit bigger as you get closer to the reel. So I'm thinking we get a few of these in different sizes. That way we can have that exact same effect. These should do right here, and that is all we need for the island.
So lure number 2 is a moving bait, and we're actually not gonna use anything in any of the aisles. We're gonna go to the front of the store and maybe take a look at the drink selection.
I want like 2 of these, should work. This is the rod, like the actual fishing rod. These little U things go through the platform and grip it to the rod, then our base is secured.
So in the Home Depot Build Your Own Lure Challenge that we did, I actually built a lure out of this key and caught multiple fish on it. It worked like a charm. I'm not gonna use that for my moving bait. I have a pretty good idea of a lure that you could make at home yourselves, probably with the supplies you got. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about real quick.
This looks like an aisle that might have something for us. We got like long metal shafts, but this could work. I mean, that is fishing rod like if I've ever seen it. Maybe using something like this with one of these doll rods, maybe that one. We could do something like that to build a fishing rod with and just chop this in half.
Hey, you guys don't have like Coke bottles with a metal cap on them, do you? Like the... Dang it. Okay, all right. Thank you. That ruined my whole entire plan.
So I'm gonna take these guys. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. YouTube. Take these guys. They're zinc, and I want to say zinc is porous, and that it really splits really easily if you try to bend it. But basically, I'm gonna screw that into the end here, fold the eyelet over, so then I can put a nub on it or a knob, and yeah.
So for only $2, you could make a fishing lure out of a Red Bull can. So instead of using the metal bottle cap, what I think I'm gonna do is cut out some metal almost in like spoon shapes, almost make a snake looking lure that can swim through the middle of the water. This is not what my original plan was, but I think with this shiny metal, it's gonna look like a bait fish and it could get bit. With a little bit of hooks, a little bit of wire, a little bit of fishing line, this thing could catch a fish.
So I just use my brain super good. This screws into the rod, which goes through the brackets, which goes to the spool. I'm gonna feed this through there, through the eyelet, put another nut on the other side, and then put the knob onto this. Let's go find our knob.
Ooh, okay. This is more like it. We're trying to customize our rod as well, so I wanted something that had a little bit of color and was like a little bit more interesting maybe than just gray PVC. So we got blue, we got red. We have a lot of sizes. I just want to find something that feels a little bit sturdier, but I feel like this red tubing could be a good option.
Okay, so we have a Red Bull and a ton of pieces of wood, which is 2 lures down. I was feeling super confident with that bottle cap one. It's like the most common homemade fishing lure of all time. They're all over TikTok, and I've never tried making one. So I was super excited about that and combining a ton and making a snake lure. But sometimes your ideas don't come to fruition. This Red Bull can, I'm gonna try to make the same thing. Have no clue how many times I have to tie fishing line around it, but this could end up going really good or really bad. I just have to make sure all 3 ones I make work. That leads us to the bottom bait. This one's gonna get even crazier.
We're definitely gonna need some tape. Like without question, you can't go wrong with some Gorilla Tape, some duct tape. Keeps everything together, and if you have any problems out there on the water, we're definitely gonna just need something in case things start to go south. I feel like we can fix just about everything with a roll of duct tape.
That'll work. Looks like a reel already, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Oh, one last thing I do want to get is a chisel.
So lure number 3 for a bottom bait. You guys might have thought I'd try to make like a worm or a lizard. I'm gonna go a little bit crazy and try to make my own jig out of everything from Home Depot. So to start, we have these compression adapters. That's gonna be the head of the jig. So let's see if we can find a good looking one. Something like this. So my idea is that this could be almost the head of a jig. It's already weighted, so it's gonna sink to the bottom really quick. Oh. So if we get an EWG hook, line tie through this, we have a hook off the end that's just free swinging. These little rivets in here could hold a skirt down. So I'm gonna use handmade material and strap down a jig skirt, and this thing could be like a really good looking jig.
Richard Electrical 502.
Richard, dude, where you at? You're supposed to be an electrical dudes and plumbing.
Oops, sorry.
It's hell. Here, I'll do another. You're trying to make a fishing rod.
I'm trying to make a fishing rod.
Okay. So you're gonna buy a reel and try to attach it?
Yeah, we're gonna attach a reel. Yeah, I was like,
What
that's
about
like
pipe clamps?
That's what I'm saying, pipe clamps.
pipe clamps. Could y'all show me where those are?
Absolutely.
Oh, awesome. All right, right this way.
Alright man, so these are going to be the options where you got the small ones here, you got some larger ones here. I'm assuming
Alright.
if your dowel is going to be small, you'll start on
Oh,
that end over
dude, yeah,
there.
those are
You know
that
what I
would
mean?
be
You
perfect.
go up on one side, to
Yeah.
down and up, and then
Yeah, just
maybe
some
turn
that'll.
the tighteners, the screws on
That's
that so it doesn't-
perfect.
We're getting it. So I want this reel to last. I want this reel to look good. We're gonna get some stain, some urethane, and go build this thing. I stained a wood door one time with this stuff, and it was like purple and like cherry, and it was black cherry. That's gotta be it. Beautiful color. Boop. Okay. Sandpaper, stain, urethane, basically an entire reel in my hands. I know it looks like it. Let's get moving, dude. Let's go catch these fish really fast.
Behind everything, we have a duster. Every single little strand of this, if we could find some rubber bands or some hot glue, we tie it around the end of the compression. That, I think, is gonna give a really good, like, lifelike action that a jig gives, and jigs are known to catch really big bass. I think we could accidentally get really lucky on the jig. It might be the best lure we make. Let's put this in the cart. So I found my last components for the jig. We have a duster, a compression adapter, and a little mini hose clamp. So, putting the hose clamp on the end of this adapter, I can tighten it down, hold some of the skirt on there, have a hook coming through, maybe make the first ever Home Depot jig. I think this will actually work surprisingly well as long as this hose clamp can hold down the trailer. I'm gonna go check up on the rest of the boys. I have all of my supplies. Can't wait to see what Rod Fletcher tries to build, and Mason trying to build a fishing reel. That's gotta be pretty interesting. We will see you guys back at Fletcher's place. All right, folks, we have all the supplies lined up here on the table. We're gonna have 1 hour to construct our fishing rods, 3 fishing lures, and a fishing reel. And we start in 3, a 2, a 1.
Woo! Let's get right into this, guys. I feel like this is gonna be easy peasy for me. We have a bunch of rods. I'm thinking we're probably gonna use this and stick a few of these guys in here, and that could be an option as well. We're just gonna kind of experiment with these until we get the right combination of that. Once we have that figured out, we're actually probably just gonna duct tape everything together, and that should be good. And we'll just apply the eyelets and the reel with these guys, and I think that is gonna be the move.
Dude, I was wondering why you had like 18 fishing poles.
Yeah.
I trust you. I feel like you're gonna figure it out. I'm wondering why this and then why wood? Why did you go with both? Is that like a rod sleeve or what?
So, yeah, I mean, I was thinking like this is a little flimsy, like, you know, I'm trying to imagine myself setting my hook into a 10-pounder, which is gonna happen, by the way. You know, that just doesn't, it just doesn't have it, but I'm also worried about the wood just snapping in half. So I was like, what if I could combine like the properties of both? We got like the flexibility and the sturdiness of the actual plastic, and then we go ahead and add the backbone. Boom, bada bing, slide that thing right on in there.
Genius, I like it, dude. I like the idea of having wood for the backbone, but having a sleeve just in case it breaks to make sure you don't like risk losing a fish.
Exactly. So now we're good.
All right, well that's impressive, but have you ever seen a Red Bull fishing lure? Step number 1.
How many Red Bulls is that for you today?
3. Boom, you got a cup. Step number 2, you're gonna need a Sharpie. You can do this at home. All you have to do is chug a Red Bull, get amped. So I'm gonna draw out a little section. I want a little bit of blue, a little bit of red. Those are the 2 most popular bass colors. That blue, red, and purple bass react to the most. And you have silver, which reflects the environment, so it's gonna look natural. So I'm gonna draw out almost like a little spoon shape here for lure number 1. Just like that. And I'm gonna take some scissors, cut along the line, and the idea is we'll tie it right off the top, then have a hook hanging out the back. Not my original plan, but we improvise. Red Bull, if you want to sponsor me after this.
So this is my spool. So I'm gonna get her about pretty much the width of the bottom of that after I cut the brackets, but I'm gonna do, it's really gonna be hard to explain because it's gonna just be kind of improvised as we go.
Oh, I see.
Let's base this off of height a little bit. Dang, look at that straight line. Just like that, cut it out, duplicate.
We're gonna go ahead and start taping this up.
It looks really sloppy. It could end up being something kind of cool just on a whim.
I'm just gonna need to come through here really quick. You're kind of hogging this, man.
Pardon me.
There we go.
Oh, dude, that's sick. I actually really like how you have these to hold the reel in. That is actually genius.
So what I'm envisioning is basically doing this same thing, but like instead of like a cork handle, it's gonna be tape. So we got like skinny, a nice ball of tape on the end, and then we got the handle, we got the clamps. I mean, I feel like this is looking like the setup.
I feel like yours is the most one-to-one, like something you could see in a store. Like at a first glance, like from far away, you could actually mistake that for a fishing rod by the time you're done. This, on the other hand, I don't know where this is going.
going to Super Sickville is where it's going.
So let's go ahead and put the reel on. I think that's gonna be the best way to kind of set this up to the way I like it, as far as just like an ergonomic perspective goes. So we're just gonna put these little clamps over the reel seat and take a screwdriver to tighten these suckers down.
I'm not a big chiseler guy, but I did buy them.
Dude, look at that. Tied off to the main line right here. This is scary, and this really, they're not super supported. If I have time at the end, I'm gonna come back and try to reinforce them. But as of now, that is lure number 1, the Red Bull spoon. I actually caught my PB bass on a Magnum flutter spoon, about twice the size, 9 pounds, 14 ounces for those of you guys who always asked that question. It was on something like this, just wasn't a Red Bull can. Unfortunately, our Home Depot bag had a little hole in the bottom and my hose clamp fell out, but we're still gonna be able to make do with some zip ties. We have a main hook for our jig here, the main jig head. We're gonna tie this off, tie it with a zip tie so the hook's sitting like this, and I think we're gonna cut some of this and add like a little skirt around the edge. Zip ties instead of a C-clamp.
Normally with a jigged action, even out of the package, brand new ones, you kind of want to cut the skirt down. If it's too long, they'll just lay there. If it's too short, it'll just not have action. You need a good medium length skirt so when it sits still, it's actively moving. That's why big bass love jigs. It's because it's extremely realistic and represents so many different forages. Just like crawfish, bluegill, there's so many things that bass eat that a jig looks like. I really feel like this lure is gonna be awesome.
Here, I got my, Mason, do your segment right now. I'll mic you up this whole time. Oh, sorry.
Hey, dude.
What are y'all thinking about this, guys? You like the grip? You like the setup? We're gonna cut it off right here.
Dude, that looks pretty much one-to-one.
I mean, would you buy it?
I feel like you did so good, it's not even a challenge. But how are you gonna make the eyes? That's what I'm curious about.
So, we got 2 options. We got either these. I'm just worried about the line coming out, like, cause they're not fully connected. Or we could just go the safe route and tape these little brass or copper sleeves onto here, just like they would be like for an eyelet, and, you know, put 4 or 5 of them down this. Either way I go, I feel like I'm golden. Go ahead and get this off of here. We don't need that. There we go. Only thing we got left is to add the eyelets.
I feel like this is the closest I've ever got to making a fly fishing lure.
We're going to start
By taking this piece right here and zip tying, because we lost our hose clamp,
around this while we have it all kind of spread out.
I'm gonna drill a little pilot hole right here, and we can start screwing one of these guys in here. Be the one to go with first. Kind of want to make these get smaller as we go.
Boys, look at this.
You see what I'm saying, kinda? When you wiggle it like this, you can almost see how the skirt's gonna be dancing in the water. We ended up using zip ties. Oh boy.
What you think, Norm? You think the line's coming out of that?
I don't think so at all. So guys, I've added the trailer, or like the skirt, to the jig. It's so front heavy that this like brass little nozzle is just always gonna be face down. All these are gonna be moving around. I don't even think I need a trailer, but we have one zip tie holding everything in, so give it like a little pull, it's not gonna come out. But we have the hook here, so the last zip tie I'm gonna wrap around the hook just to keep it in like an upright position. All we have to do is tie the line off to the front right here. Super simple build. All you need is zip ties, like a little $2 part, and a hook. And a duster.
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right. Tighten this down as much as I can.
You stop that.
So guys, I've finished my jig.
I got one more eyelet to attach after I get this one in here, and my rod will be good to go.
That'll be first done. I'm finally on lure number 3, but I feel like this one's gonna take me a while. Getting a whopper plopper out of wood is gonna be my biggest challenge yet.
You guys are starting to get the picture here. Bam, bam, bam. That should be plenty of reel for this rod.
All right, so lure number 3, we're making a whopper plopper out of a wooden circular cylindrical post. Mason, tell them what you got going on real quick.
I got my bracket built for my spool. Got my rad, goes in there. You guys get the picture. Now I just have to secure that, put my handle on so I can reel it in.
I'm gonna start cutting this thing down.
we're gonna cut this relatively short. So this is gonna be the main part of the body for my Whopper Plopper. I feel like kind of mid-size might have me the best odds of catching something.
Try to get as even as we can.
So if you guys have never seen a Whopper Plopper, this is what it looks like, and this is what we have. So I'm gonna try to copy the shape of this. This is gonna be the hardest part though. It's this tail that moves around and creates all the action. That's what we have this skinny piece of board for that I'm ideally gonna make some sort of tail out of. It's probably not gonna be all that crazy, but as long as it's moving, splash around a little bit, I think we got some good odds.
Pushing, leaking a little down.
Not my fault. Got this guy, go here, like so, washer, and then nut. Smart, smart, smart. And so from here, I gotta get that in there with a washer, and then do that.
I'm almost cutting in gill plates from like my entry points, like a curve just how gills would be on a fish. Maybe paint some eyes on, I don't know, but like I want it to be as realistic as possible.
All right, so I just put a little washer here to keep it from going in too far, which I don't think it would, but we're gonna do the exact same thing on this side. I'm gonna cut this off, put our little washer, put our screw on the end, then it can't go. So bad. Right now I'm trying to figure out how I can get this spool to not spin on the rod, so I gotta put a set screw or something to make it turn with that shaft. Set screw, set.
So guys, I think I've finally finished the shaving of the body. It actually took me like 25 minutes with all of these everywhere, but we kind of have a similar form to my example Whopper Plopper, but I switched it up by kind of carving more towards the top just to keep it up. And on top of that, I added like little eye slots. So if we had googly eyes, it might be kind of hard to tell through camera, but it does look a lot like the face of an actual fish. Then on the back, I left it a little bit thicker. That's just so I can screw in the part that's gonna have our tail on the back. Doing that, hopefully, in theory. We're gonna be using this second piece of wood to try to make the tail. This one I'm not very confident on, but if I can get something just a little bit curved, if it can catch water and keep going in the same direction, that's how we're gonna make this work. Somehow we're gonna turn that into a tail. More shaving to go.
Imagine this is a fishing pole. Yes sir, yes sir. All right, just finished up. I got my handle put together, kept it really simple. It was just washers to keep this free spinning from backing out the screws, even though it's still kind of doing a little bit. I had to close the loop on my main handle here. Other than that, really, really simple. Nuts, washers, keep her spinning. Had a little pilot shaft go through, bolt on the other side to keep it from coming out. Shaved down my brackets to hold my spool. Base plate, little U-bolts that I had to pre-drill the holes, but other than that, screwed them into the rod. That easy.
All right guys, so we have my Whopper Plopper right here, and I ended up finishing my tail. It's a little bit curved. I cut into it, so hopefully it'll catch water and spin just like this. So we're gonna put this on the top of the Whopper Plopper, and hopefully when I screw this in, it doesn't split up all my 40 minutes worth of work. There we go. That's it. I definitely could have made a bigger tail. I should have just bought a bigger piece of wood. But this stuff, when you cut it along the grain, it just instantly snaps. It was very cheap wood. That though will have just enough action, I think, to draw up some fish. Not to mention, this thing looks like it has a perfect bait fish profile. Yes. So now it is time to take a couple of these out of here. We're gonna screw these into the bottom, and these are gonna be what holds our hook. I'm just gonna drill 2 starter holes, that way we can screw these in just a little bit easier. One right under the front lip and one kind of towards the back. That way if a fish grabs it either way, we'll have a hook on both parts of this bait. Screw these things on in. And one right in the front to tie our line off to. Guys, I have a regular hook and a feather hook. I'm gonna put the feather hook on the back. Normally on a lot of popular baits, they do that just so that the fish has something to target. These are some really big hooks, so I'm hoping that they get drawn up and the feather just looks a little bit more realistic and they go crazy. But after I'm done tying these on, we got all the ties, this lure will be complete. I really wanted to paint it, but I just don't think I'm gonna have enough time because my hour is almost up. I got like 3 minutes. There we go. That looks absolutely ridiculous. The eyes on the side, shaved down, bottom is kind of perfect. 2 treble hooks, spinner on the back. Oh, that is so cool.
All right, guys, we have made it to the lake and we've completed everything we built, starting with Fletcher. Show him off your rod real quick.
So this is the full shebang right here. We have our nice little grip. We got our handle. The reel is not going anywhere. Those clamps are holding it down nice and tight. The actual rod itself, reinforced with some wood, and then we actually screwed in all these little eyelets, reinforced the holes with some tape so the line's not gonna come out. This thing is a stick. Honestly, just like playing around with it, it doesn't have like the most backbone in the world, but I feel like we're gonna be able to get the job done.
All right, and guys, I got the little jig on here. I zip tied down the hook too, so it's gonna be set. Then I have what I'm most worried about, and I'm gonna save for last, the Red Bull spoon here, just because if I pull too hard, this thing could rip off and I could lose my fish. And then one that I'm actually really proud about, it's gonna be like 45 minutes to make, the Whopper Plopper with 2 hooks, a line tie, shaved it down, cool little like eye spots and gill plates, a really good fish profile, and the spinner on the back, which is gonna create the action. Mason, you got something.
The winning combo. I got my fishing reel done. It's kind of like a one style of fishing, just trolling. I can't really cast this thing. I'm gonna try to, but I doubt it'll work. Other than that, I think we got a winning combo here.
Well, we have all of our gear. First person to catch 3 fish, either Mason 3 fish on his reel, me on my 3 different levels of lures, or Fletcher catching 3 fish on his bendy rod, wins this challenge. 3, 2, 1,
Go.
let's go.
All right.
Mason, you get your own boat. See you, man. See you,
Later,
losers. Front or back? Or should we rock, paper, scissors? Or you want to control it?
Yeah, let me stay in control.
Okay. I'll let you get the front, dude. I'm confident.
I got some experience behind the wheel here. I think we're both better off beating Mason if I'm out in front.
I trust you, man.
All right, let's get right on to it.
Well, guys, I got my jig right here. I ended up off camera zip tying the front of this down. I kind of realized that would probably be the best solution, but I think the skirt will look really good. I can't wait to see how this thing looks in the water. It kind of just looks like a little hair jig, to be honest. I could even swim this thing, maybe. Oh, yeah, dude.
Dude, that actually looks
yeah.
saucy.
Oh, dude, the falling action, too. Dude, that skirt kind of looks crazy. Watch this. You ready? Watch that. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Woo. I'm feeling confident with this one, guys. But as we go on, we have a massive topwater and a Red Bull spoon. But yeah, first cast with the homemade Home Depot jig. Oh geez, that's a brand new reel, dude. I did not set the settings. The brakes are non-existent on this. Tension knob was not tensioned.
All right, guys, we're gonna start off with the Deadly Nedley. Got this thing tied on. I figured that this would be the best option because it's a light wire hook. I don't have a lot of backbone, so I'm just basically relying on being able to, you know, lift up on it and that hook just kind of do its own thing without me having to like set the hook or anything. Go ahead and dangle that sucker right on in there. I'm interested to see if I even feel a bite with this thing. Like far as like being able to cast it goes, I think I'm fine. Sensitivity is a different question.
I'm not even gonna attempt to cast this thing. That just seems like a nightmare. But it's gonna be a little bit of that action. Did I wrap? Oh no, we're chilling. Line out. Will be an absolute nightmare if I backlash it. There's only about 1,000 yards worth of like 20-pound fluorocarbon, so we're working with a lot here. So let me give you guys like a quick rundown of all the problems I have here. So when I put this spool on, I stripped out one side of the rod. And the way I had it originally set up is I turn it this way and it feeds the line back onto the spool, and I stripped out the wood, so I had to switch the sides. So now I have to reel like this, but as you can see, it's just backing my screw out that's in the wood. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to do one of these actions. I don't think it'd be much of a challenge if I didn't have challenging things to do.
Dude, I'm already having problems. My hook is slipping down. Not having those hose clamps with that Home Depot hole in the bag is definitely hurting right now. That would have definitely helped my situation.
Wait, do I have a fish? Oh, let's go. Oh, goodness. No, 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 no.
Oh, he's got one!
Depot reel, no way.
No, the troll!
No.
Oh, I got one! I got one! It's a bluegill!
What?
It's a giant bluegill!
Are you kidding me?
It's like a 1 pound bluegill!
Oh my gosh. Dude, that's the biggest bluegill I've ever seen.
Dude, what? This thing is built different. What did I just
What
catch?
the heck is going on?
Falling apart quickly. Oh goodness. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Eee, that's not working. All right, come on. Let's go. That's a decent fish, dude. Good. Oh god. Ah. All right, this is the new strategy. Walking with my fingers. Oh, it's working. Come on, come on, come on. That's a good fish. That's actually like a solid fish.
Mason's still reeling his in.
Norm, this is technically your
no.
challenge. Does this count?
Dude, I'll let it count. I
Does
think
this qualify?
that's a giant bluegill. It counts. We'll let it slide.
Gosh, how is this thing still on? Come on. Oh, dang it. No, 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 no. Oh. Gosh, dang it. Oh, we still got him. We still got him. All right, come here, fishy. Come here. That went sideways so fast. Oh, all right, come here, come here, come here. Come here, come here. Hey! Ah! I want everybody to remember, I'm not an expert fisherman, or by any means a good fisherman.
Well, guys, Fletcher's got the biggest bluegill I've ever seen, and Mason had a 5-minute fish fight.
How big
and
do you
I'm
think
still
this
fishing with a
is?
jig. Dude, that's over a pound, I think.
1 pound, 4 ounces.
Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous.
This is a certified. Oh, dude, it
Yeah, I saw-
doo-dooed all over me, bro. Oh my god.
All right, guys, we got ourselves a little, I call it a 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. I can't really remember what size fish are. I don't catch them enough. That's a good size fish. I'm happy with it. Kind of crazy, I got the first fish of the day. Solid fish. My reel did kind of fall apart. That's okay, I'll be able to fix it. Let's keep on going. Thank you, buddy. You just helped me win that challenge. And he swims away. This is good. This is the testing period of how my reel has failed. Number A, I need to build a guide system because halfway through that, all the lines started spooling over here because there's a gap. Aside from that and my reel handle falling off, we're chilling.
We're just getting the party started on this boat, Norm. I have a feeling that you're probably gonna get one here sooner rather than later. So I'm gonna tie on a red-eye shad. We got one in the crawl color because it is spring, and that is a good color to throw in the spring.
That's gonna be dangerous, man.
I feel like they're just gonna be dialed in on this, especially since Mason just caught one just out there trolling on a crankbait. I feel like my odds of getting one on this are gonna be pretty solid.
Dude, I better catch one quick because you guys are already way in the lead, and I hung up my jig. No.
I mean, that's honestly kind of ridiculous. I did not have tension on that fish, like on the hook. I didn't have any tension on it for a solid 30 seconds out of that entire fight, and the fish still managed to stay on. I think my game plan now is just to keep the troll motor going, so that way that can keep tension because I can't reel this thing like fast enough when they're swimming at me like that.
I can actually feel the crankbait. You know how you can feel the vibration?
Like the wobbles?
Yeah, I was worried that I would have no sensitivity with this thing, but it actually feels pretty similar to like a normal fishing rod.
I got a pretty solid bird nest action going on. I'm gonna try to get it out, but we have way too much line on here, and it is just getting worse and worse every few seconds. So we'll see if we get this straightened out and keep on fishing.
Please, Nanny McFay. Got it. We fixed it. Let's go.
Back to the ball game. Oh, there we go.
No way.
Fish number
Is it a
2.
big one?
Fish number 2.
No.
Yo, this one is a largemouth. LMB, baby. We're going for the multi-species on all three of our our fish today. Let's go ahead and get this sucker in the boat.
Dude, that was like 3 seconds. I couldn't even retime my jig by the time you were done.
Norm, you gotta catch up.
Oh my gosh, it
Because
is not looking good for me.
right now I am firing away at these fish.
And I feel like I started with my easiest lure too, which is what's really sad right now.
So you win some, you lose some, buddy. You got one?
Oh, I'm hung, dude. Oh my gosh, I thought for sure. It's so hard to tell with a 5-ounce jig head. I just felt my lure stop and got hype.
Oh, let's not get hooked on that, ideally. What? Oh, please don't get hooked on that. Oh no, it's hooked on it. Oh, dang it. I was literally saying as we were passing it, please don't get hooked on that thing. Oh, I think we're free. Oh no, we're not. No, we're not. Oh goodness. Come on, reel. No. No. All right, abandon ship with the reel. Oh goodness gracious. Oh. Dang it. Oh, that's a good sized fish. All right. Stop being tangled. Please and thank you. Yes, sir. I'm here. Yes. This is actually ridiculous how many times I should have lost these fish. And I just keep, like, what are the chances of getting stuck around the rope, which probably helped me keep the fish on my hook. I didn't weigh my last fish. My last one had to have been probably 2. I'm gonna call it 2 pounds. Oh, the last one was definitely 2 pounds. This is 1 pound, 10 ounces. Saw a little fishy poo. All right, we're gonna go ahead and let this little guy go. Thank you for the fight.
I'm trying to catch me a Garthosaurus back in these trees. Oh my gosh. Oh no. I just got blown up on. Let's get back in there. Come on.
No.
Eat it.
Stop it, Fletcher. Stop.
Slurp
That's not
it
even
down,
cool.
Gertha.
I'm gonna follow her up with the jig. She wants that, dude. She said, I don't feel that whopper plopper with that random rod. I want a jig.
Come on, pal. Well, that's unfortunate. Gosh dang it. Well, we got a good tour of the lake, and now I guess I'm just gonna try to fix my reel because our battery just died. So yeah, we can at least try to fix this mess. There's massive fish in this lake. I'm not as like a non-fisherman, but fishermen passing these fish, they catch me off guard. It's like, that is a huge bass, and they're just going right beside us. Crazy.
Coming up around the bend right here. This point is looking nice. This is a good area. Oh, you got one? Oh, no way. No way. Oh my gosh. Is he still on there? He's still on?
Oh, dude, he's running out.
About time, dude. You've been working with that thing.
Okay, he's not crazy good, but oh, barely.
There we go.
Yeah.
My
Dude, and this
man.
slid just like how I said it would to keep it on.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Sweet, dude. Little 1.5 pounder. I have a fish, which is,
It's a relief. It's a
goodness. All right, 1 fish on the board. Little pounder, but we'll take them. Thank you, buddy. All right, so guys, I'm gonna tie on my homemade whopper plopper, which I think is the coolest lure I made. It took me the most time, and it looks really awesome. And Fletcher's throwing his whopper plopper, so I think it'll be really cool to see, you know, if mine even works relatively as good as his does, like a store versus a homemade one. And mine is also maybe 3 times the size.
Gosh, dude, I'm kind of excited to throw this thing.
All right, Norm, you ready to see these things face off head to head?
Yep, cast it right over there. All right. Ooh. Mine floats, obviously.
Does it spin?
It spins a little bit. I like how to prop it like a prop bait. Dude, look at the bubble trail behind
Yeah, it does have a little bit of bubble action.
Yeah, it's kind of stuck in one place, but I think it kind of looks cool.
You could always try to walk it if it's not gonna propel.
Dude, watch this, bro. I'm telling you. You ready?
Oh, it's got a nice little darting action.
Yeah, no, I think this is gonna get blown up on. Dude, I feel like I'm peacock bass fishing in the Amazon right now. Yeah, probably all they're just chasing around.
Yeah, I think they're just chasing hardcore. They're fly guarding.
Oh! Oh! No!
No, dude, my
Oh,
drag was still loose from the spoon.
Oh no! Norm!
Oh no, dude.
You can't let those opportunities go!
I forgot to tighten my drag after I loosened it for the spoon. No!
Hey, that one crushed it too.
Dang it.
Get back in there, maybe you get another bite. Oh, let's go! Stay on! Stay on! That's gonna be the dub! That is what we needed. Stay on, please, 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 please do not come off. She is barely hooked. And the back hook. Get on in here, honey! Boom! Let's go! Sorry, had to flex on you like that, Norm. Well, let's go ahead and pop that son of a gun off of there and go ahead and put that out of there, and let's take a look at the winning fish. A nice, chunky, healthy, probably about 1.5, 2 pounder, but she got the job done, and that's all we needed.